Hey everybody, hope you're having a fabulous day. My name is Melissa Cruz, and thank you so much for coming back to watch another video on my 52-week video journey through questions. So today's question is really special. I have a story that I want to share with you, but let me read you the question first, and then we will jump right into it. So today's question is, when did taking a risk pay off in a big positive way for you or for one of your customers? So this is it's going to be a story about me. And you might have heard a little bit of the story in maybe a previous video, but I wanted to kind of share the full story and how this whole thing kind of came about. And it is the story on my move to Florida. So back in, let me see, 2011, I had moved into my new apartment. I had been, working and saving money, and I had moved in, I want to say that October. It was in the fall, into my new apartment, and super excited, which is great. And then 6 months later, I moved. Now, let me take it back for a second for you guys. If you're new here, you don't know me, let me just kind of share with you. I have always been one. Was born in New Jersey, born and raised in New Jersey. And I was always one that knew I didn't want to live there forever. I was never one that, wanted to be born somewhere, live there, and then die there. Right. No judgment to anybody else who is that dream. And you guys want to do that. That's fantastic. But for me, I knew that I wanted different in my life. And so I just knew that one day I would leave New Jersey, and I would, I just always wanted to experience life, get to know other people and their culture and things like that. And so that was just important for me to do. And so I move into this apartment. 6 months later, I move. So let me kind of explain to you why. So at that time, two really great friends of mine, one of my friends had gotten an internship at Disney, so she was on her way out. And then my other friend had gotten a job as an event coordinator for a hotel in Daytona on the beach. And so as they're sharing with me their stories and their news, obviously I'm excited, right? Happy for them. I just started to think to myself, I can almost remember the day. I felt like I kind of I sat back and I was like, what in the hell am I doing? Like, really, what am I doing? I loved my apartment. It was beautiful. And I was kind of doing things, whatever, working and stuff like that. And everything was fine. But there was nothing necessarily holding me back, nothing holding me there where I couldn't just pick up and leave, And so I decided to move. And at that time I was working two jobs. My first job, I worked for a local supermarket. I was a family-owned chain, not chain, but a family-owned company that I worked for. They owned 5 supermarkets in our area. And so I worked for them from 7 to noon every day. And then from 1 to 10 on any given day, I worked as a key holder at Pier 1 Imports. And so when I decided that I wanted to move, I had started to inquire, and I started to see if this can actually happen for me. So I remember telling my mom on a Friday my decision. I was like, hey, Mom, something I want to tell you. And I was like, I'm moving to Florida in 2 weeks. She's like, haha, you're funny. I was like, no, but really I am. She's like, what? And I was like, yeah, listen, I need something new. I need a new adventure. This is an opportunity, granted, there wasn't anything I was moving for, but I knew that life was happening and I wanted life to happen for me. And so at my first job, I put my 2 weeks in. I spoke to my boss, which was super sad because my boss was so amazing there. But I put my 2 weeks in, talked to him and put my 2 weeks in. And then I started to inquire, can I transfer my job at this Pier 1 Imports to one down in Florida, and so that was able to happen. And then I sublet my apartment. And so I just started to do the things I needed to do to really see if this was going to happen for me. And I got all green lights. And I knew that if this wasn't the right thing for me to do, God would have given me red flags. He would have been giving me hurdles to jump over, making it difficult. And that was not the case at all. Every single thing I did was a green light. And I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I did. 2 weeks came, and the very next day I moved. And so what happened was I sublet my apartment. I put my things in storage. And I drove down to Florida with whatever I could fit in my car. And that was it. And then for a few weeks, I stayed with my friend in Daytona. And at the time, the store didn't have a position for me. And so they were like, well, we have one available in St. Augustine. I was like, well, I've never heard of that. Well, I'll go there and check it out. And then I got here and I was like, oh my word, like this is fucking gorgeous. Sorry. It was beautiful. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And so I ended up moving here and got my little apartment and stuff like that. And it was super close to the store. And then a month after that, I got promoted to assistant manager. And so I did that for a few years. And so it was great. Now I say it's a payoff because had I not made that decision, and it was risky, when I made that decision to leave so suddenly, a lot of people, were like, what are you running from? What did you do? What happened? And I was like, I'm not running from something. I just want to live life. I want to do something with myself, I don't want to be stuck here. And so I was like, well, whatever, have your thoughts. It's fine. And so I came and, a year after I got here, my husband or my hubby kind of moved down with me. And then a year after that, we had our daughter. And then a year after that, we had our son. And so life happened and it was beautiful. And I wouldn't be here today doing what I am doing had I not made that decision a long time ago. Was it scary? Heck yeah. Like first of all, I bawled my eyes out the day before. I cried half the way down here because I was scared shitless. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I knew that I could bet on me. And so I wanted to share this story because taking risks, guys, it is scary. And you have no idea if you're going to land on your feet or not, right? But if you don't take the risk, you'll never give yourself that opportunity to give yourself a shot. Are you betting on you? Really? Do you believe in yourself enough that you can do hard things? That even if you fall, you can get up and you can try again? That is not the only risk that I've taken in my life. That is the one that I'm going to share with you today. But it was risky and it was scary. And I did it anyway. And so when I think about that time and that story, and then thinking about when I have opportunities that present itself to me today, I kind of make my decision based on, does this opportunity scare me? Or this is like, oh, okay, this is great. Both options are okay. I can be excited, but I really navigate or gravitate towards opportunities that scare me bad. Because I know that's going to make me better. That's going to make me stronger. It's going to make me just grow even more, than where I'm at now. And if we don't push ourselves to do those things, we will continue to stay where we are at. I'm not okay with that. I didn't want that for my life. I don't want that for my family's life. And so I just wanted to share that story with you, so to give you hope and to give you inspiration and motivation that you can do it as well. If you are not happy where you are, change it. It takes one decision, sometimes one risk, and your whole life could look different. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. When I tell people when I moved down here for no reason and by myself, they're like, are you crazy? I'm like, a little bit. But I knew that I could do hard things. I knew that I could bet on myself, and and I can make it happen. And if it didn't work out, what was the worst case scenario? I moved back and I tried again another time. You know what I mean? So if you're ever in that position, weigh your options. What is the worst case scenario if you make that decision or take that risk? And then what is the best case scenario? Okay. As human beings, we tend to focus on what could go wrong, right? And that's okay. I mean, we should think about all the different options and all the different outcomes that could happen. But what I really want you to focus on after you get that initial thought out is, what if this goes right? What if this does pay off? What if this brings me another opportunity? I would have never thought in my life that I would be doing what I am doing right now at all. In real estate, actually having a job where I'm 100% commission and I'm making money and I'm building a business. And now I get to coach and help other people do that and change their lives. Like, I could just pinch myself. I feel so lucky, but it wouldn't have happened had I not jumped, had I not taken that risk and bet on me. Okay. So again, if you are feeling like, if this is speaking to you, I would be more than happy if you want to talk to me or reach out and say, hey, I'm thinking about this, whatever. And you want to kind of hash out what your options are, or the best case, worst case scenarios. I would happy to do that, but take that risk, bet on you. I promise you will not, you will, as scary as it is, the payoff is so much more greater than if you just kind of live life, trying to be, do all the things you think you're supposed to be doing. Blaze a trail, create your own path. It is absolutely okay to do that. It is scary and it's hard, but you can do it. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching and hearing my story. I'll see you guys next week with another question. Take care.